In this video, we're going to be looking at this. This is the fantastic Olympus 12-200 Super Zoom f3.5 to 6.3. Is it any good? Well, watch the video to find out. Roll titles. Well, hi YouTube, Brian James at Micro Four Thirds Guy with you once again, and today I'm looking at this. I've managed to get my hands on one of these. It's the Olympus 12-200 f3.5 to 6.3 Super Zoom lens. Now you may have seen my review on my 14-140 Lumix lens. There's a link up above somewhere to that, but this is a different kettle of fish altogether. It's wider at the wide end. It's certainly more zoomed in at the long end. So what's it like to use? Well, first of all, I've been using these on an EM5 Mark III, which I've really got on well with this lens. It's not a particularly heavy lens. It is quite big. It's bigger than the 12-40, obviously, but it's doing a different job. But in its overall size, it's not a huge amount bigger than the 12-40. I've got a 12-40 here as a comparison, and you can see not a huge amount of difference on it, and not a great deal of difference in weight between the two either. Obviously, like most of the Micro Four Thirds lenses, when you zoom it, it does tend to trumpet an awful lot. It's quite a long lens on that, but again, it's not ungainly. If you use it on something like the Pen Fs or a GX9 or something like that, you may find it feels a little bit front heavy. But to be perfectly honest, I've been using this on my GX8 as well, and once you've got used to that for a few seconds, it's not a problem. Obviously, the focus inside is internal focusing rather than coming out, so whatever your filter you put on, it's not going to turn. I find that the overall feel of the lens is superb. The zoom feels, I've just got to get a place to hold it. The zoom is nice and smooth. There's a little indentation when you get to the maximum zoom, which is the 200 end, which is a 400 equivalent in full frame. But it's very smooth, it's very easy and very controlled. Focus on this, it's a non-ending ring obviously, so you just get your focus on there. But again, there's no real notches. It doesn't feel gritty at all. It's nice. It's not the smoothest of focus rings, but there again, it's nowhere near the worst I've ever done. Build quality on the lens, as you can see, is fantastic. It really is good. It's all polycarbonate, it's not metal, but that doesn't really make a big difference on this lens, I don't think. It feels quality. It really does feel quality. The lens hood on this one, which I believe is supplied, is a standard sort of fit. Really good quality on this. Filter thread size, just have a look on the front, because I didn't check the filter size, 72mm. So if you come from full frame cameras, you might have some filters already around. Quite a big filter size for Micro Four Thirds lenses, but at the same time, very, very common and easy to get hold of. Now, it is quite a big lens, as I say, and if you're used to tiny little Micro Four Thirds lenses, you might balk a little bit at that. And you also may say, well, hang on, Brian, you've asked me loads and loads of times as to what it is about Micro Four Thirds, and when you've given an answer, you've always said about it being small and neat and compact. Well, I still go with that. Imagine getting a 400mm, a 24-400mm zoom on a full frame camera. It would be huge, it really would. So this to me is a very, very neat, usable lens. I like some of the little bits. I love the little sort of anodized trim around the front. I think that's really neat and tidy. The plastic, as I say, it is it's a good quality plastic. It is on the hardish side at the time, but there's something about it which is just nice. It's also got that really nice sort of square type Olympus grip on the zoom ring, which feels comfortable. Now, what's it been like on the camera? Well, I've got some photographs, and if you keep on watching to the end, you'll be able to see some of the results. I'm down here in Keswick at the moment and just looking over Derwent Water, so I've had an opportunity to take some outside shots on that. But I'm really impressed with it. There is a slight amount of vignetting on the outside, I would say, or in fact, it's not even noticeable as a vignetting. There is a difference between that and the center, but it's so difficult to see. You've got to look really hard to find it. There is a slight softening towards the edges, especially at the full zoom. And the problem with it is at the 200, the 6.3 is quite a slow speed as well. But in normal use, you're not going to see those things. I'd be very surprised if you even notice them at all. It works with the camera surprisingly well. On the EM5, which I thought may feel a little bit odd. It actually feels totally at home. And putting this on my EM1 Mark II, it actually feels incredibly comfortable because the balance of it is superb. Have a look, as I say, at the photos at the end, because I've really been impressed with this. Now, before I go any further forward, don't forget, if you aren't a patron of the channel, there's a link just there to become a patron. And also, if you would like to leave a coffee on a donation for PayPal, there's a link there. But the most important thing is, drop me some comments and give me a big thumbs up if you would. And if you want to hit the subscribe button, I'm almost at 7,000 subscribers. I'd love to see you as part of the team. It costs nothing to subscribe. All it does is put it onto your subscription line so you see the videos a little bit easier. So if you want to hit the subscribe button down below, I'd love to see you as part of the crowd that we got on here. But back to the lens. As I say, I've got some photographs coming up at the end, but I think it's superb. It really is. There's prices and things at the end as well, so that I can change them later on, because the prices are going all over the place at the moment. They really, really are. And trying to keep up with what retail prices are. I've stopped putting them into the videos so much because I just can't manage to keep up with them. It's not the cheapest lens. I think it is around about just under £1,000. But for that, you're covering almost every focal range that you'd use in normal day-to-day shooting. You can use this for taking wildlife, because at the far end, the 400 full frame equivalent, or the 200 on this, really does get you up close. And at the wide angle, that 12mm or 24 full frame equivalent is really getting on wide. It's a lovely focal length to use. I use it quite a lot for all sorts of things. So, would I recommend this? Yes, if you can afford the money. It will replace several lenses in your collection. It's awfully easy to carry it out. And as I said a little bit earlier, when we're talking about things and size and weight, if this is replacing 2 or 3 maybe lenses in your collection, and this is the only lens you have to take around with you, then it is a big weight saving, and it is a big bulk saving. So yes, overall, the 12 to 200, f3.5 to f6.3, as I said, I'm not doing a fancy review. You'll find all the specs online. I'm not really wanting to do specs anymore. What I want to do is tell you what it feels like for me as a camera user in normal use, and to see what the results are. The image quality is superb on this, the contrast is great, and the detail, the sharpness is outstanding for this range of zoom. So my recommendation is, if you're looking for a super zoom, this is it. Am I tempted myself? Yeah, I am actually, because I think this may replace the 14 to 140 Lumix. It gives so much of a better range than that does, and it feels neat in the hand. It's no bigger than the 14 to 140, and I think this could be the next one on my shopping list. What about you? Drop me a comment below, let me know. But until next time, this is Brian James, that Micro Four Thirds guy, saying keep on taking your camera out, keep on taking your lenses out, and have fun with your photography. See you next time. Bye-bye.